Did you know that up to 83% of kids with autism also have ADHD? I've seen firsthand how these conditions often go hand in hand, but many people just don't realize how much they overlap or how they differ. In this video, we'll break down the similarities and the differences between autism and ADHD. Trust me, by the end of this, you'll be able to spot the signs like a pro, like me. And who knows, you might even learn something about yourself or someone you know. And who am I to break down this difference? My name is Dr. Salman Aziz Mirza, triple board certified in adult psychiatry, child and adolescent psychiatry, and addiction medicine. And while I have ADHD, my dad is most likely autistic, and well, we definitely have some major similarities and differences. You know how sometimes you can't tell if your friend is super focused or totally zoned out? Well, that's similar to what we're dealing with when it comes to autism and ADHD. These two conditions have more in common than you might think. In the past, doctors believed that autism and ADHD couldn't occur together. But science has progressed, and we now know these conditions often overlap. Both can make it hard to focus, read social cues, or control impulses. It's like trying to read a book in an unfamiliar language while sitting on a wobbly chair. Both conditions can also make you sensitive to sensory input. Imagine walking into a crowded mall during a sale. The bright lights, loud music, and constant chatter might feel overwhelming. For someone with autism or ADHD, this sensory overload can happen in everyday situations, making simple tasks challenging. It's like having superhero hearing and vision, but not being able to turn it off. Some researchers think autism and ADHD might be two sides of the same coin. Picture a coin with different patterns on each side, like heads or tails. When you flip it, you see different designs, but it's still one coin. Similarly, autism and ADHD might be different expressions of related brain differences. Scientists are piecing together this giant puzzle, finding new connections every day. This connection is significant. Up to 50% of people with autism also show signs of ADHD. Understanding this overlap helps doctors make better diagnoses and create more effective treatments. It's like having a more complete toolbox to work with. This knowledge also helps us tailor support systems, like having a Swiss Army knife instead of just a regular pocket knife. Moreover, this understanding helps us learn about the human brain in general. As we uncover how autism and ADHD connect, we gain insights into how our brains function overall. This can lead to a better support systems and a more inclusive world. For all of us, this information is valuable. It encourages empathy and support for those who might be dealing with these conditions. The next time you interact with someone who seems to struggle with focus or social situations, remember, just like Optimus Prime and Bumblebee and Transformers, there might be more going on than meets the eye. Can you tell the difference between autism and ADHD? Pop quiz. Imagine a child who can recite every detail about dinosaurs but struggles to make eye contact. Which condition does it sound like? Yep, most likely autism. Autism and ADHD have some key distinctions. In autism, special interests are intense, long-lasting passions. A person might spend hours researching a topic, memorizing facts, and talking about it non-stop. For ADHD, interests are more like fireworks, bright and exciting, but often short-lived. Someone might dive into painting one week, then switch to guitar lessons the next. I may or may not have a section of my garage dedicated to that time I got really interested in pour paintings. These differences show up in school and work too. A student with autism might excel in subjects related to their special interest, but struggle with group projects. An employee with ADHD might generate creative ideas, but have trouble meeting deadlines. Social interactions also set these conditions apart. Autistic individuals may miss subtle social clues, like sarcasm or facial expressions. It's as if they're trying to decipher a foreign language in real time. Those with ADHD usually understand social cues, but might interrupt or blurt out thoughts, like that really annoying friend we all have. Diagnosing these conditions can be tricky, especially when they occur together. It's like trying to solve a puzzle where some pieces fit both conditions. A child who seems distracted could have ADHD, or be an autistic child overwhelmed by sensory input. Careful observation is key to telling them apart. Understanding these distinctions is crucial for proper support. An autistic individual might benefit from social skills training, while a person with ADHD might need help with time management. Those with both conditions may require a combination of approaches. Now, let's address some common misconceptions. You might have heard that autism is an extreme male brain, or that ADHD is just an excuse for laziness. These ideas are not only wrong, but very harmful. They oversimplify complex conditions and can lead to misdiagnosis or inadequate support. The truth is, both autism and ADHD are complex neurodevelopmental conditions affecting people of all genders. They're not choices or flaws, but differences in how the brain processes information and interacts with the world. Interestingly, until 2000, experts believed autism and ADHD couldn't co-occur. We now know they often do, opening new avenues for research and treatment. Scientists are discovering shared brain mechanisms between these conditions, which could lead to breakthroughs in diagnosis and treatment. Let's bust some myths about autism and ADHD. There's a lot of misinformation out there, so it's time to set the record straight. First up, the idea that everyone's a little bit autistic or everyone has ADHD sometimes. Well-intentioned, this oversimplifies these conditions. Autism and ADHD are about persistent patterns that significantly impact daily life, not just occasional experiences everyone has this. Another common myth is that autism and ADHD only affect boys. This misconception has led to too many girls and women being overlooked or misdiagnosed. In reality, these conditions can affect anyone, regardless of gender, though symptoms might present a bit differently. Some people believe autism and ADHD are caused by bad parenting or too much screen time. This unfairly blames parents who are often doing their best. These conditions are primarily influenced by genetics and brain development, not parenting styles or technology use. And no, you cannot develop autism or ADHD, much like someone can develop type 2 diabetes. Another particularly harmful myth is that autistic individuals don't have emotions or can't form relationships. This couldn't be farther from the truth. Autistic individuals feel emotions deeply and can form strong, meaningful connections. They might just express themselves differently. Similarly, there's a misconception that ADHD is just about being hyperactive. But ADHD can manifest in many ways, including inattention without hyperactivity. This often leads to people, especially adults who are able to not get in trouble during their childhood, not recognizing their symptoms or seeking help. Now let's address a big one, the myth that vaccines cause autism. This idea stems from a single discredited study published in 1998. Despite being thoroughly debunked by numerous scientific studies, this myth persists and has scared many parents away from important vaccinations. It's crucial to understand that there is no link between vaccines and autism. For more on that myth and why Andrew Wakefield is one of the worst people of the 20th century, check out my video on the topic via the card above. Another myth is that autism and ADHD are modern inventions. The truth is, these conditions have always been around. We're just better at recognizing and understanding them now. Historical figures like Einstein and Mozart are sometimes retrospectively diagnosed with autism or ADHD, showing that these conditions have likely always been part of human diversity. And I know it's fiction and TV, but Queen Helena from HBO's Game of Thrones spinoff House of Dragons definitely is autistic. These myths can have serious consequences. They can lead to delayed diagnoses, inadequate support, and social stigma for people with autism and ADHD. They might face disbelief or dismissal of their struggles, making it harder to access the help they need. So, what can we do? Challenge these myths when you hear them. Share accurate information from reliable sources. Listen to and amplify the voices of people with autism and ADHD. By doing this, we can create a more understanding and supportive environment for everyone. And as we move forward, it's exciting to see how modern science is disproving these myths and giving us a clear picture of autism and ADHD. In our next section, we'll explore some of the groundbreaking research that's changing our understanding of these conditions. Stay tuned to discover how science is paving the way for better support and acceptance. Imagine the human brain as a vast, bustling city with countless interconnected streets and neighborhoods. Modern brain imaging is like a high-tech satellite view, revealing the intricate workings of this neural metropolis. This technology is transforming our understanding of autism and ADHD, conditions that have existed for centuries, but are only now coming into clear focus. In autism, certain brain regions are hyperconnected while others lack sufficient connections. This imbalance can lead to intense focus on specific topics, but difficulties in other areas. For example, a person with autism might excel at remembering intricate details about a favorite subject, but struggle to interpret facial expressions in social situations. ADHD, on the other hand, affects how the brain manages attention and prioritizes information. It's like having multiple browser tabs open at the same time, with attention constantly jumping between them. This can manifest as difficulty staying focused during a lecture or frequently misplacing important items. Recent research has uncovered fascinating similarities between autism and ADHD. Scientists are looking at things like how the brain processes rewards or filters out unimportant information. They're even finding that some of the same genes might be involved in both conditions. Brain imaging research is showing us that the brain is incredibly adaptable. Even if someone's brain is wired differently, they can often learn strategies to work with their unique neurology. It's not about fixing what's wrong, it's about understanding and embracing different ways of thinking and perceiving the world. The concept of neurodiversity emphasizes that neurological differences are natural variations in human cognition. This perspective encourages us to appreciate the unique strengths often associated with autism and ADHD, such as pattern recognition, creativity, and innovative problem solving. It's like I commonly say to my patients when we talk about this subject. Humanity is a spectrum. As we continue to unravel the complexities of the human brain, we face an important question. How can we build a society that not only accepts but truly values neurodiversity? The answer may lie in reimagining our educational systems, workplaces, and social structures to harness the full potential of all minds. Thanks for watching, and I hope you learned a bit from this. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you found this interesting and want to learn a bit more. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below about autism and ADHD, and if I left anything else out. And for a bit more on neurodiversity, check out the video I made on what neurodiversity is via the link below. Until next time, be safe and be well.